Hello traders, once again this is Brombo. I hope every one of you is okay. I have this new video here about gold because I've been receiving messages from YouTube comments, people wanting to know what's going on with gold, and so I thought let me make a video for you to show you what my expectations on gold are. So as you can see, we've got a good buy that happened yesterday. So this is where I'm gonna put my focus so much on to try and bring things that you need to pay attention to when you are doing analysis in a market. All right, so if we look at gold, I know most people might have expected a sell to push maybe all the way up to somewhere to the 800 EMA, and that hasn't been happening, and we never reached the 800 EMA. And I know it's a bit of a concern because people wanted gold to sell for a long time, especially after having created a peak formation which everyone could see. All right, now let's find out what exactly happened. So if we look at D1, we can see that D1 has been on a buy for a very long time now, and if you look from the TDI, there's been a huge influence with the market bouncing on MBL right there, and which is the new move that you see here after having bounced on MBL. So the market has been really pushing, and the MBL has been facing forward for a long time now, so which we want this to continue for a very long time. All right, now I want us to go to the 4-hour time frame because I believe this is where the whole thing is more clear. Okay, so if we are to count our levels, let's say we start from counting from 4-hour time frame because we want to understand what exactly is going on. So the previous peak formation that you can see from the 4-hour time frame is this one right here. This is the previous peak that you can see. Okay, and from this previous peak formation, or you can even mark this only as your peak formation in this case. That is the peak formation that you last saw. Okay, now if you look at it, you'll find that this was your first rise, this was your second rise, and then this was your third rise. And for some, because of variations, they will want to say this whole thing is their second rise and this is their third rise. Still one and the same thing. You eventually come to the same area. Okay, now this being our three levels, it means we came into a peak formation, which is the one that I was talking about that everyone can see. So what do we expect? We expect a sell, and ideally we all would have loved the sell to come to the bottom here, and I personally would have loved it to come there because I did count the levels and I saw that there were actually two. But there is something that I noticed a few days back when I was looking at USD pairs, and I realized they were now supposed to turn around. I did share with a different group that we expect USD pairs to start buying, which they did buy yesterday very well. And when I was looking at gold, I saw a reset, or I saw a peak formation and a move to the upside. So I was expecting a buy on gold instead rather than a sell. All right, now let me show you why I was expecting a buy, okay, and why gold is buying. So if you look at it from this way, you'll find that gold has formed a peak formation low, pushed 1, pushed 2, and pushed 3 into a peak formation high, and then pushed down into a reset, and then pushed into an ID50 and went up. I don't know if this is clear or it sounds familiar to you. So looking at it, this being your level 3, your 1, your 2, your 3, and this being your reset, and you can call this 1, and then you can call this 2, and you are anticipating your level 3. All right, so that is my expectation, but I'm not going to dwell on H4, or I'm not going to make my judgment from H4, but I'll look at it from the H1. Okay, so now how or why am I saying gold is going to be a buy? So remember, we haven't seen this whole part right here. All we can see is what's going on the other end. So how did I arrive to this being a buy? If you look from my Telegram channel, sorry, I didn't post this on the Telegram channel, but again, this is my result right here. I entered this soon after the candle for news closed, and I had shared this before news, I think, what I expected, and this is exactly how it actually turned out. Unfortunately, I can't show you the before of that, but I can always send a picture after this video. Now, how did I arrive to this? If we go to H1, okay, and say, all right, we all agree we are in a peak formation. I'm just going to put my box far above because I want to explain a certain point. So we are in a peak formation and we expect the market to sell. Now, the first thing that you saw is this one. All right. So if you are to count your levels, you probably would have counted 1, and then the market reversed into the previous high. And that's really concerning. But at the same time, you could have taken a sell again and went 2. Now you realize you've got 2 peak formations. All right. And at the back of your mind, that should tell you something, because you had a peak formation, a move down, and then you now have another peak formation, something like this. So you need to keep this in your paper, okay? And then the next thing that happened, right? I'm just gonna remove these. The next thing that happened was you then bought back into the peak, and you had another peak giving you another drop. So that to me showed me that we had a move down again and formed a W, and then went up and formed an M. Remember what I taught you? And then this is what happened. This time around, you did not come to the high again, but instead you had a second drop. But this second drop, if you look at it clearly, it closed fairly almost around the low right there. Sorry, my line is not that straight, but fairly around the low right there. All right. So that means the market did not move on these 2 days. And on the next day again, the same thing happened. Price closed in the same area again. So that means price did not move here as well. Okay. And then the next thing, but you do not neglect the W. You keep the W there because that's what you are seeing. And then what happens next? Price goes back up, and then price gives you another M, and price makes sure that it sells, which in turn you could have said, okay, I've got a drop again. So what's going on? All right. Now, I'm trying to explain what's happening here, and you're looking at it, you're like, okay, what's going on? So in this case, we now have an extension, right? And then you have a W there, and then you have an M again, and then you come down to another W, which is this one right here. So this is your latest peak formation that you can see. All right. Now, this whole thing here, if you try and move it to the higher time frame, this is what you see. Sorry about that. So from the higher time frames, what you then see is this. You've got a V, you go down, a V again, you go down, a V again, you go down, a V again. That is what you see. Now, if I draw this correctly, because remember, you've got two levels in this spot right here, you've got two levels. So this is how it looks like. You've got a move to the top side, and then you've got this. Then you've got a move to the bottom side, and then you've got this. That is your move. That is exactly what you are expecting. All right. We're just going to take a break for a moment.